Sup guys? A few months ago, I made this game called Pogo Simulator in 1 week. And since then, the game has blown up with over 18 million visits. But now the player count has started to drop, so I'm going to try and update it to revive the game. And since I love to torture myself, I'm going to try and do this in 1 week, just like last time. And make sure you guys stay till the end of the video because I end up spending 100,000 Robux on advertisements for the game. Okay, so to start off, if you look at the original map for this game, it looks trash. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not that good at building. So what do you do when you're not good at something? You hire someone to do all the work for you. So I found this guy and he ended up making a map for me. So here it is. There's no free models or anything. And wow, that almost looks as nice as your mom. Next up, I wanted to add a new map to Pogo Simulator, but before that, I want to fix this UI a little bit. So I added this tab to the shop so you can scroll through different worlds you have, and I can add more worlds if I want to. And then I made the icon for the new world. But you guys are probably wondering, what is the new world? Well, this is it. Atlantis. But it doesn't actually look like that in the game, and I still have to make it. And if you guys saw the last video, I made a game with a fan, and this fan actually made a map for Pogo Simulator, which is like the original Atlantis map. So I'm going to be using this map and the old Earth map to try and make the new Atlantis map. So now we just gotta actually make it. Whew. Glad that's finally done so I don't have to work on the map anymore. Oh wait, that was actually just the first level. This is going to take forever, but at least the first level looks good so far, and I added some nice lighting, some seaweed, a pirate ship, and some tentacles. Everything you would need in Atlantis. But the map is missing one thing right now. More levels, obviously, so let's go do that. Okay, so for the next level, I wanted to make it like a coral reef. So I took some coral and I made it a bunch of different colors, and then also added some rocks and a starfish. And then I took this and I flipped it over so it would be the bottom of the next level. And then since I want the top to be flat so you can bounce on it on the pogo stick, I added these rocks around the side so it would be like the borders. So now we have a few levels that you can get to on the map, but the main goal of the game is to jump through rings to get coins, and none of the levels had rings. So then I started adding these rings to each level. And then to make sure that no players ever leave the map, I added these parts around the map so it keeps players inside. And then I made them transparent so you don't see a bunch of gray walls around you when you're in Atlantis. And then while I was playtesting, I kept floating in the air randomly at this one spot in the map. And I couldn't figure out why. Your character just like turned into Superman for no reason at all. So the first thing I tried to do was turn everything that the player landed on red so then I could see what part it was. But whenever I would look at the server side, there wouldn't be a part there. The player would just be floating. So then I had no clue what was going on. And I even went into the server and I tried deleting all the parts that I thought the player could be landing on, but still nothing happened. They were just floating. Until I figured out that I didn't anchor one of the parts of the borders, so it was just falling over onto the map. And that's it, and I wasted like 20 minutes trying to fix this. But one of the most important things about game dev that's often overlooked is the balancing of the game. This can make or break your game, and this is why I spend so much time balancing it. And if you don't know what this means, it's pretty much how much time it takes to get through your game. So like how fast a player would get from one pogo stick to the next. And something I like to do when balancing is making it easy for players to unlock something when they first start the game. Then gradually ramping up the time it takes for them to get to the next pogo stick, rebirth, or whatever you have in your game. This will make sure that players get a reward right away and they'll learn the game, and then they'll know what they have to do to get to the next one. And this way they'll be hooked and play your game for longer. But the most important detail here is that the better the balancing, the better the overall world's happiness. And that's what matters. Okay, but you can't have good balancing without good frickin' pogo sticks, am I right? So let's go make some. Just kidding, if you remember what I said before, I'm not good at building, so I'm gonna get someone to do it for me. So now we just need to find someone to actually make the pogo sticks. But after a lot of searching, I was finally able to find someone. And he made a sea tube pogo stick, a sea plant pogo stick, a bubble pogo stick, a sea star pogo stick. Okay, you guys get the point. So then I just spent some time adding the pogo sticks to the shop. And I even tried to add some like funny info to it, like the pirate stick says, "Arr." Get it? Yeah. And I actually really like how they turned out. So one thing that all good Roblox games have in common is a good storyline behind the game to keep players Haha, psych, you actually think people put effort into Roblox games? No, so we're adding pets. Okay, and with this completely unique idea that I came up with all by myself, I'm gonna start making the eggs for the pets. And since this is the last day of the challenge and my brain is completely fried, I used AI to generate some pictures so I could get some inspiration for the eggs. And this egg's looking pretty cute, so I'm just gonna copy it and paste it. Yeah, that's not how that worked. It actually took me a while to make it. But if you happen to be a pirate and you're wondering where babies come from, it's from this egg. So there you go. But I also ended up making this water type egg and this bubble egg, and I think they turned out pretty good. And then I had this great idea for an octopus egg, and I added these tentacles to the bottom, but every time I tried to import it, no matter what I did, it gave me this message. So I ended up just putting this cute little octopus on the top of it and called it a day. But how am I gonna get little kids addicted to gambling if there's no pets that you can get from the eggs? So I quickly crafted up a few pets and I threw them in the game, and it was really late, so I just went to bed. So the update is pretty much done now, and I think it's ready to release. And just like I said before, I'm gonna try and spend 100,000 Robux on this game to try and revive it. So let's go do it. Also, if you've made it this far in the video, use code Atlantis with a 1 instead of an I to get 10,000 coins in the game. Okay, but before we sponsor the game, we need to buy the ad credits in order to sponsor it. So if you look, it's about 285 Robux for 1 ad credit. So if I buy about 350 ad credits, that's about 100,000 Robux. And I've never spent this much Robux before, so I'm kind of scared to do this. But let's just buy it. Okay, so now that we bought the ad credits, we actually have to sponsor the game. So if I go to this ad manager, I can go and set up the ad that I want to run for this game. And when you click create, you see all this random stuff that no one cares about. All we care about is making the ad. So I had a little bit of ad credits left over from when I tried this before. So I'm going to put in 358 ad credits. And then if we skip all this stuff, now we can run the ad. Okay, so after spending 100,000 Robux, the ad got almost 1.5 million impressions. And this pretty much just means how many people saw it. But out of that 1.5 million, only 17,000 clicked it. So it has a click-through rate of 1.19%, which is terrible. And then of that 17,000, only 8,000 actually played the game. So overall, after spending 100,000 Robux, my game only got 8,000 more plays than it normally would. So I would consider this a fail. Because if we look at how the game normally performs, on the day that I ran the ad, the amount of players that play the game daily went down. So it didn't even do anything. I pretty much just paid for less people to play my game. But even though the ad didn't work very well, I still had a lot of fun making this update. And thank you to all you guys who have played the game. I really appreciate the support. And if you guys have any ideas for the game or something you want to see in the future, please comment down below because I read every single comment. And don't forget to subscribe and join the Discord.